here. Thank you to the partners in Project Green. On behalf of Longos, I just want to talk to you about our experience of dealing with solar and what we went through. And I want to comment and open. I wish we had these sessions a year and a half ago when we were going through them, because it's a big learning curve for us. And these weren't around as prominent as they are now. But I've learned so much this morning and so much I can take back. So even though we've got a system up and running, there's so much we can take back, and we've also included a learning curve as part of our installation going forward. So just to give you a quick insight about Longos. Longos is a privately owned company. It's focused on selling foods from everyday staples and grocery, gourmet exclusives. Longos presently has 23 full-service stores throughout the GTA. It operates 5 urban stores in the Toronto area and an online business called Grocery Gateway. We've opened up a new support center, which our current installation is up and running and working on in Vaughan, and it employs over 4,000 team members. We didn't just decide to do solar out of the blue and say, hey, let's do solar. It goes along with our core values of the company, and we're caring about our communities, our people, and our environment, and has been part of our day-to-day business since the opening of 1956. So it's part of our core values to do the right thing for the environment as well, and the community. Some of the leading initiatives I just want to quickly brief on, and then I'll get into our solar experiences. That we've spearheaded the organic recycling program. Over 25 years ago, we were recycling organics where a lot of stores weren't. We've closed the loop on our cardboard recycling program, Kruger Papers, where we recycle our cardboard. They buy it back from us, and they use it in recycled programs and so on. The Gateway, Longos Grocery Gateway promotion, doing your grocery online is great for the environment. We recycle all types of plastic at the store. We even take your plastic bags. At every Longos stores, you can bring your plastic bag back, and we'll recycle it, and that's how important it is. We've also deal with the scholarships. We sponsor environmental scholarships. This year we're sponsoring scholarship with the region of Halton on post-secondary school scholarships, and we're awarding the Longos Awards for those. And we've also enrolled in another OPA program, the DR3 program. We've enrolled into the DR3 program with the OPA, and we've put a 1 megawatt of power back into the grid when the OPA calls upon us. So why solar? Well, it aligns with our environmental philosophy of being environmental leaders. It supports the clean, renewable energy. And we also like the fact now that there's a 20-year commitment, that there's something out there from the OPA with the purchase agreement. And we chose to own our systems and deal with, because of the annual cash flow is greater than compared to the lease flow, as mentioned in the previous presentations. Items that for consideration for us, we needed to assign a project manager, because when we decided to own it, we needed to understand a little bit about what was going on. Not a little bit, a lot, and we're still learning. And we asked the project manager did the research and developed the RFP and tried to understand. And one of the big learnings for us was understanding what we were signing up for when we decided to own it. What does that mean for us as a company owning the system, and asking those right questions with our provider that we worked with. We've asked those laser beam questions. I call them that get right to the core of what you want to get at. And gathering from the questions this morning, I think you guys got it all right. You're asking the right questions, and the more in-depth questions need to be asked even more. And even we're asking now our provider as well more in-depth questions, talking to them about the installations and what's going on. One thing that was a real learning curve for us was the timelines. This is not a 3-week process where you go and sign up and give me a solar system and it's up and running in 3 weeks. This is a long process. You're dealing with applications, approvals, assessments, installation, and inspections after that. That was quite an interesting ride. There was a few bumps along the road, but our provider was very well in informing us, had a great installation package for us, and provided all the necessary questions and time frames within reason. They delivered. So that's a big point of understanding all the things that you go through from start to finish. It's not as quick as just building it and you're up and running. And you saw that this morning on the other presentations. That was clearly highlighted. Items for consideration that I thought that I would share with you is validate and verify the solar partner you're choosing. Look for references. When we went out, what was interesting about a year and a half ago when we had solar companies come to us, they came for the first meeting and made all these promises. When we asked them back for the second meeting, they weren't there. and that was interesting. Now it's a different story. There are more players, more solar providers on the market that have capabilities and so on. But you've got to really understand, ask for references, and like I said, ask those laser beam questions. Are you willing to stand behind your product? We asked, where's your installation? Can we see it? Can we talk to your clients? Those questions it was important for Longos to deal with. We also asked for customization of the system to fit our needs. One of our things that we've developed in our new warehouse, and where our current system is up and running, is a display monitor that shows the meters and so on. It shows what we're producing and when we're producing, how much we produce. Not only for the people that come to the head office, but for the team members. It's in the lunchroom that has a monitor there and shows people what we're actually producing and so on. We've actually given tours of our roof to our team members at the warehouse. There's 300 team members in total at our warehouse, and we've given tours as well. What was important for us and important for the founders of the company was it was a non-penetrating ballast system that suited our comfort need. You got to be comfortable with what mechanism is going to tie down these panels. And at the end of the day, we liked the system that was provided to us by our current provider. It was a non-penetrating. They delivered well. The first installation went very well. We built the building and coincided with the solar system, so it was reinforced roof structure. It was a brand new roof, so we're set for 20 years. It kind of, the stars aligned on this installation. It won't be so easy when we roll out the other stores. We're going to roll out 7 more stores, and we're doing 2 this coming year, and that'll be we developed a 250 kilowatt system that we have currently operating now. And we're going to be running at the stores a 100 kilowatt system, and it's a little smaller because we have coolers and pipes and refrigerant systems on the roof, so we don't have as much of luxury roof spaces as some of you other opportunities have with the same roof size. So that was very important for us, and so really understand what kind of system is going to tie down these panels on your roof and what's involved on it. Understand what happens after installation. That was a big learning curve for us as well. Understanding the maintenance agreement. The provider that we worked with had provided a great maintenance package, and with the guarantees, and their maintenance and downtime was minimized. We went through. We have written a maintenance agreement. We got into a maintenance agreement with them. We looked at the life cycle of the components and turning them. The inverter is not going to be around for 20 years necessarily. So we looked at maintenance programs that would address those things as well. The key question we wanted to ask too is, will the solar provider be around when you need them in downtime? And we were guaranteed times that we wouldn't be down. So if the system wasn't operating functional, they had to be on our site within the day to review and assess what the issue was with the system. There's a lot of things you can ask for, and I say, you ask for the moon and you see what you get. And we were very demanding with our provider, and so far they delivered. We've got written paper on that as well, and the installation they've delivered as well. We like our system that we have, and I'll show you a picture of it shortly, is that for roof repairs. What ends up happening was, this was a new installation with a new roof, so the 20 years is there and they kind of coincide. But we're going to be installing in existing stores that the roofs may have 5 years already on them and may need to be replaced in 10 years. We like the fact that if there's leaks and so on, that these modules are, they're easy to take apart, and you take them out and you just pull them out, and the roofing company works with what they have to work with. You don't have to take down the whole system or take down. You can take parts of the system down, and that was important for us. What's important for Longos? Do the right thing for the future and the environment. That's what was mainly for us. It's good money. It's a good return. But it's not the best returns when you're looking from a business perspective. But doing the right thing from the future and the environment it was important for Longos. And as you can see, it aligns with all the other things that we do as for the environment as well. What we liked about owning the system, we own the stores, we own the buildings, and we own most of them that we're installing on, and we own our head office. So we like the fact that we own the system and it's on our roof, and we operate it, and we don't have to lease it out. That was important for us. Non-penetrating roof mount, for us that was very important, and that the mounts we were comfortable with the mounts. And partnering with the right solar company. We dealt with a lot of solar companies in the beginning that were in, and a lot of them didn't have the expertise or the documented analysis and the installation process. What we asked for our provider, which worked out really well, was the timelines, deliveries, understanding the whole scope of the project and working with them through the project. They were very knowledgeable. They had a team that was well in depth in knowledge. When they didn't know the answers, they got back to us with the answers, and they had a lot of expertise, and they've got a lot of understanding of the whole operation. With our provider, it was a turnkey operation. They did all the applications, they did all the assessments and so on. We were just kept informed along the way. They kept us in the loop and as what was going on. And what also our provider did provide was the difference between financial options. You know, they offered the leasing if we wanted it, and it was there for us, and they offered the ownership, in which we chose early in the stage to own it as well.
Who did you say your sole provider was?
I'm sorry?
Who did you say your sole provider was?
I didn't say, but I'll tell you who it is. It was Oz Solar. This is our current roof system. I just wanted, this was pictures taken recently on our bond system, and that's the idea of what the ballast system looks like. And they kind of, the installation was clean, it was done accordingly. We had our roofing company assess the roof before they did anything, so it was brand new roof. They gave us, and then they had assessed it after, and they were fine with the installation and fine with everything that went on. So we had the key was to get checks and balances in, for your solar provider too. So making sure that the roof was non-penetrated or not damaged, and they upheld the 20-year warranty as well moving forward. One of the things we have is you can't see it here, but we've got cameras around the building, and when there's a heavy, my concern was when we've had those windy days, I don't care what anyone says, those things could be kites, in the air or whatever the case may be. But we turned the cameras around and watched our solar system. Not that we had nothing else to do, but on those windy days, you kind of wonder, you pray, this is the first installation, and you're saying, how good is it, and so on. And we've had a few windy days, and this system's been up and running since the end of, or beginning of December. It was installed, and it was up and running in January 13th. And they didn't move. We went up and took tours after those windy times that we had in Vaughan. And Vaughan is like Tornado City, a lot of you know. And there were some times that I could hear the windows of our building just vibrating. I'm just saying, I hope we don't get the big phone call from, come out, your panels are on the roof. It held up. So, it's premature to say, but from what it's performed and what the issues have been and the weather conditions that, it's been tested. We also asked for tests to be done independently as well before. So a point that we had done here is we had wind tests done on this system and ballast system. We asked and validated results as well. So those are some of the laser questions you need to ask. Yes?
What did they use for ballast?
I'm sorry?
What was used for ballast?
They're plastic containers. They look like, I don't want to use the term, but laundry baskets type of thing. And I'll show you on a slide that I have what it looks like as well. And what they do is they move the stones. They move the stones away. They put a sheet down, a membrane down, so the shimming and the pushing against the membrane wouldn't wear on the membrane. And then they filled up with weights inside the ballast, and then put the panels on top. So that's how they line them as well. And then they're screwed together, so they've got an intricate system that when you sit next to each other, they lock in, and then they're screwed together as well. I'd be more than willing to give anyone here, if you get a hold of me, a tour of our installation. I open the doors up, where we got nothing to hide, and we're proud of our installation. We're proud to be associated with Oz in that installation. And we're doing 2 more with them this year as well. Bit different, and it'll be some more different challenges because the inverter, will be outside in this case. This case, and the inverter's inside in the electrical room, but we're building it at the stores where limited rooms are. We have limited room. The warehouse was built with the fact that we were going to have a solar system built into the building. We're just proud to say that Longos is the first grocery retailer to have a solar system tied into the higher power grid in Canada. We are tied in. We're producing power right now. We have 1,000, almost 1,200 of these panels on our roof, which produces just under 250 kilowatts of clean power. And this is and you'll see in the next slide, this is a little promotion we did within our lobby at the store, at the head office, just to let people know what we're doing the right thing. And this is our lobby here. We have it in the corner there, and then you can see it up close. We have it. We have the ballast and the thing, so it gives people a touch and feel of who comes to Longos and sees at the warehouse, at the head office. We'll be doing something different at the stores, But there's also a monitor off to the side, and you can't see from this building, that tells you how much power we're producing at a given time as well. So, and that's our experience with solar. It was an interesting journey. Like I said, the fortunate thing is you have these sessions to learn from, and I learned a lot from these sessions. So thank you for asking those questions that I was going to ask in the background, but those questions were asked. And I think you have to do your due diligence, and if you're going to own it, you're going to really need to step up to the plate and really delve into asking those questions and hold them accountable. And my philosophy is ask for stuff. If you're not sure and so on, ask for it. And if you want, like the monitors was an example. It was never talked about, but I said I want monitors in the stores, and saying that this is how much a Rooftop is producing at the time. And at the head office, the same thing for our people as well. Sorry, was there any other questions? Well, thank you very much for having me.